Look, if you're a QA professional, you know the interview isn't just about your tech skills, right? It's about those tricky psychological questions that can completely stop a great candidate in their tracks. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Turn that anxiety into pure confidence. We're going to master the three toughest questions you'll probably ever face. So, let me ask you, are you really ready for these? Because I can tell you, these aren't the kind of questions you can just, wing. They are specifically designed to test you in ways you might not see coming. And that right there is the absolute key. We're talking about questions that go way beyond what's on your resume. They're built to figure out your real motivations, how self-aware you are, and of course, how you handle pressure. How you answer tells them everything they need to know about the kind of professional you really are. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain here. We're going to decode what the interviewer is actually asking, because understanding this hidden test, well, that's the first step to crafting a perfect answer. And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. When they ask about money versus work, they're really testing your values. What drives you? The year's strongest point question, that's all about self-awareness. Can you actually back up your claims? And then there's the big one, a disappointment. That's the ultimate test of your emotional maturity and your professionalism. All right, let's kick things off with the first one. And trust me, this is a classic trap. The interviewer sets up this false choice. Is it the money or is it the work? Your job is to see the trap and just step right around it. So you can see the two paths right here, right? On one side, you've got the trap. You choose one or the other. You pick money, you sound like a mercenary. You pick only work, well, that can sound a little fake, a little dishonest. The winning strategy, though, it's telling a balanced story where both are important, but for smart, professional reasons. So how do you actually do that? It's the simple four-part framework. First, just acknowledge that both matter. Easy. Second, lead with the work. Talk about your passion for QA, the thrill of catching that show-stopping bug. Third, talk about money, but frame it as a professional measure of your value, not just a paycheck. And finally, number 4, you tie it all together. You connect both of these things back to why this specific job is the perfect fit for you. Okay, let's move on to question number 2, and you'll see how these build on each other. This one has a really clever twist. They ask, what would your supervisor say is your strongest point? And that's the secret sauce right there. It's not just about what you think you're good at. It's a test of whether you can see yourself through your boss's eyes. It's a huge tell for your self-awareness and, maybe even more importantly, the kind of relationships you build at work. Now listen up, because this is the biggest mistake people make. They just rattle off a list of strengths. Don't do that. Seriously. The key here, and this is so important, is to pick one. Just one. And then you tell a deep, compelling story that proves it. One amazing example is worth 1,000 times more than some generic list. So, what kind of strength should you even choose? Well, you want to pick something that's super relevant to a QA lead. Think about things like mentoring junior team members, or maybe that time you solved a crazy analytical problem under pressure. Identifying those weird edge cases nobody else sees, that's a great one. Or being the calm leader in the middle of a crisis. All of these scream high value. So, you've got your story. How do you tell it for maximum impact? You use the STAR method. Think of it as your best friend for any of these behavioral questions. You set the situation, describe the task or the challenge, you explain the specific action you took, and then you hit them with the result, the positive outcome, preferably with numbers. This is what turns a claim into solid proof. All right, here we go. The final question, and maybe the most dangerous one of all. Tell me about a time you were disappointed in a job. Make no mistake. This is a pure test of your professionalism and your emotional maturity. Let's be crystal clear here. There are so many ways to crash and burn on this question. Do not attack people. Don't blame your old boss or your colleagues. Don't sound bitter or like you're still hung up on it. And please, please do not say, oh, nothing has ever disappointed me. It just sounds fake. Any one of these is a major red flag. So instead of falling into those traps, you choose a safe topic. We're talking about professional system-level issues, not petty personal complaints. Talking about limited growth opportunities, that just shows you're ambitious. Mentioning a lack of modern tools, that shows you have high standards. See? These topics let you frame a negative experience in a really positive, forward-looking way. And this phrase right here, this is pure gold. Saying something like, in hindsight, I could have asked more specific questions. Wow, That shows you're not a blamer, it shows you take responsibility, and you learn from your experiences. It's a brilliant way to turn a past negative into a story about personal growth. And here it is, the 5-step recipe for the perfect answer. 1. Start positive. Show them you're not a complainer. 2. State one safe disappointment and do it neutrally. 3, and this is the most important part, take responsibility. 4, explain the proactive steps you took to try and make it better. And you wrap it all up by ending on a high note, connecting what you learned directly to this new job. Okay, so as we wrap this up, let's bring it all home. Let's tie all these strategies together because there's one powerful idea that's the foundation for everything we've talked about. And here it is, your secret weapon for all 3 of these incredibly tough questions is storytelling with evidence. That's it. Whether you're talking about your motivation, proving a strength, or framing a disappointment, a great story backed up by specific examples is your ticket to success. So it's so important to shift your mindset here. You're not a student sitting for an exam. You are a professional, showcasing your value, your character. The interview is your stage. It's your chance to tell the story of who you are and the incredible value you're going to bring to their team. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Your next interview is just around the corner. It's an opportunity. You've got the tools now. You've got the frameworks. So what's the powerful, authentic story that you are going to tell?